If you love your mint plants, this is the way to take cuttings and produce loads more of these fantastic plants. So today we're going to go through how to take the cuttings, how to look after them, and basically how to care for them up to the stage that they're in a pot, and we'll do a separate video from that point, planting them out and all that sort of stuff. So this is exactly how you take a cutting. So mint plants are the perfect plants to learn how to take cuttings for. So a lot of people will be getting deliveries in the coming weeks and months of plug plants. So this is a Moroccan mint, a really fantastic mint to make teas from. And when you get your delivery, you can leave it like that and pot it up. Or you could take the cutting, plant up the cutting, and also plant this, and you're going to just get double the amount of plants. So it's well worth doing. And if you love mint tea as much as I do, then you'll find that you're going to be wanting a lot of mint plants. So the first thing we need to do is get your pot. This is a 9 centimetre pot, and put a really good quality compost in there. Something that drains well. It's obviously a peat-free compost. Tap it down, fill it up just shy of the top like that. And one really good tip is once you've got your compost in the pot, give it a bit of water. What you'll find is if you water it now and then after you've taken the cutting, then it's that much easier to get the water in. So when compost is wet, it takes in water much easier. And of course when we're taking a cutting, we really need it to be nice and moist around the root. Okay, so that will do for now. So we've got our mint plant. As you can see, we've got leaves at the top here, there, and what we're going to do is cut it on the stem, twist it like that, cut it on stem just above the break of these leaves. A nice sharp pair of scissors, you could use a knife as well, just like that, and gives you the cutting that you're then going to put in the pot. And what you want to do now, don't be tempted just to shove it in the pot. Make a hole. I'm doing it with the scissors here. You could use a dipper or a pencil or something like that, and pop the cutting in just like that, and then tuck the compost so it comes into contact with the stem. Once we've done that, you guessed it, give it another water. So I'm not going to say you can't overwater it at this stage, but it's going to be pretty hard. So water it more than maybe you think you should at this stage, not later, at this stage. And then I'm going to go and take this to our propagation greenhouse, so it's nice and easy to care for. It shows how much I've watered it because there's loads of water coming off the table there. So I'm going to take it to our propagation greenhouse. But what you can do if you're not lucky enough to have one of them is put a plastic bag over the top, and what that will do is when we move it to the warm place like your windowsill or something like that, it will keep the moisture in, because we want a nice moist atmosphere just to get it rooted and just to get it growing as best as we possibly can. So now we've taken our cutting. If you're at home, like I do at home, I'd just put this on the windowsill, somewhere warm, a conservatory, a heated greenhouse if you've got it. Some people have got heaters in their shed, so you put it near the window. That'll be perfect. In that scenario, I'd keep this bag on here. But as you can see from this greenhouse, we're lucky enough to have a propagation area. So I'm not going to need this bag because we basically do that just on a bigger scale. So under here, and where you can see from the side, there's a lot of moisture on this tunnel, and I'm just going to place the cutting on there. So the heating for this greenhouse is underneath the plants, so it's underfloor heating effectively, and that's exactly what we're doing with these plants, and that's where this mint is going to absolutely love it. So we'll keep this at a temperature of around about 22 degrees. It will fluctuate slightly, but mint's not a particularly fussy plant when it comes to that. So a windowsill is going to be absolutely perfect. If the conditions are perfect, you'll start seeing root in 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, if not quicker. Because it's a pot, it takes a little bit longer for the root to get to the bottom. In a plug, you can start seeing roots definitely in 2 weeks. So it's as simple as that. As soon as it starts rooting, you can probably take the plastic bag off and let it grow. but you've got a lot of shelf life, if you like, with a pot. It's going to last quite a long time in that pot. In fact, you can keep it in that pot forever, keeping it on that windowsill and just cutting it as you go. So when your plant is bigger, you want to plant it with lots of other plants in a container. I'd have no issue with just putting it in the container, especially if I'm using that for cutting. If I'm going to plant this in the ground, and we'll cover this much more when we go on to planting out and potting up into containers and things like that, then I would put it in another pot just to stop the roots getting carried away. But that will be covered in other videos. But for taking the cutting, then all I would do is leave it here, wait until it roots, take it out, and when it's big enough, start cutting it. If you've got any questions at all, get in touch. See you soon.